Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. No response?
Pranam Swamiji.
At least
Namaskaram Swamiji.
Two. Only two people are there.
Anantakoti Namaskara Swamiji.
Three.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Four.
Swamiji is taking roll call.
Roll call has to be taken. All are keeping quiet, you know.
Roll call.
You will mark, attendance mark, those who speak. Acha, now what is to be shared today?
Swamiji, எங்களோட எல்லாரோட ஒரே நோக்கம் வந்து உன்னோட ஆனா சபலீகரிக்கிறத நாங்க ட்ரை பண்றோம் சாதிக்கல சுவாமிஜி. அது எப்படி இம்ப்ரூவ் பண்ணணும்னு சொல்லிட்டே இருக்கோம், அது கேட்டுட்டே இருக்கோம் நாங்கள் சுவாமி.
But still we feel the vehicle is not moving. Alva. How to make the vehicle move? Yes, any other topic?
ഭഗവാനെ അറിഞ്ഞാൽ തന്നെ ആത്മസംതൃപ്തി വരുന്ന വിഷയം ചൊല്ലിക്കാണ് സ്വാമിജി. ஆத்மசம்திங்கிறது லைஃப்ல நமக்கு எப்படி ஆத்மசம்தி கிடைக்கும் பகவானே அறியாது. அல்லாதே ஆசை குறைஞ்சுட்டு அதுவும் சம்திருப்தி தானே இல்லையா? அது ஒன்றும் டிஸ்டர்ப் பண்ணலாம் சுவாமிஜி.
Correct. You will say contentment, no?
Swamiji, yes.
Contentment. ஆத்மசம்திருப்தி கிடைக்கணும்.
Yes, Swamiji.
This contentment cannot be had by learning or hearing, no? But all of us have gone through our life sufficiently for a long time. So the only thing is we have to recollect the learnings. So far we have been looking up to gurus, shastras, darshan, all those things, which has helped us to some extent. But to the basic question of having fullness within, contentment within, it is still a concept, not a reality. So how do we do that? Nobody can help us in this excepting ourselves. So here, what can be the technique? There could be so many techniques. And that one technique could be, we don't know how far it is, each one has to try. We look back our own lives, how we were leading from stage to stage. Somebody would not have had any target, no? It goes along with the flow. We were asked to go to the school, we went to the school. After our education, the craving came that we should get employed, we should earn, we should have basic comforts, we should settle down with the family, and then maintenance of the family, rearing up of children. All these things were going on. Every now and then we heard about one spiritual guru or so many gurus, Mahatmas. We used to have darshan. Some idea, for some time it would be there in our mind. And then we have not set up any goal to be scaled. Though our mind keeps on telling that there is a goal, I want to do this. Actually, heart of heart, the goal is not clear in our heart. Because now our experience teaches us, whenever we have that goal, say we were not having a house, we would like to have our own house. So whatever is to be done, we did not ask anybody and we kept quiet. We tried to organize some funds, then looking for a site, so many places, or when a flat, then we arranged for some more funds as loan or something. We somehow got it registered. We performed the Graha Pravesham. We thought we have achieved the goal. Again the saga continues. But there is a teaching there. When the relative goal was fixed, we did so many things. We sacrificed so many things. We faced so many challenges. And then only we were able to hit the target. So in this contentment, fullness, first of all, have we fixed it as a goal? Yes, I wanted to feel contented. But every time I got the, I fulfilled the task. For a moment or two, there was contentment. Again, there was discontentment. That propelled me to do something else. What did I do? Did I keep quiet? Again, I put in all my efforts. So God has been teaching us that when you fix up a target, you are not simply sitting and asking for somebody's guidance. You are setting yourself on a process, and in spite of various hurdles, with perseverance and commitment, you are able to reach the target. Now he teaches all these achievements are achievements, no doubt, but these achievements have not given us the real contentment. So what do I do? Then I go to spiritual masters and I ask them, I have been trying to get contentment and I set myself on a process, did achieve something, did lose something, but on the whole I have achieved so many things which I have targeted, and then still contentment is still a distant concept. Then he says, anything outside you, if you fix it as a target, it will be like this. So you have to know first that you are propelled to go in for contentment, because the contentment is your nature. The inner contentment because we don't know it, it is propelling us to have outer contentment. So when we have exhausted all our resources, God is teaching us that the real contentment is the inner contentment. So we now look within. If we look within and hear somebody, we will not. Just like what we did when we wanted to score 90 plus, when we wanted to have a seat in the college, when we scored the best marks there, when we got a placement, when we changed that placement for our better prospects, then finally when we wanted to have our own house, then we wanted to have a life partner, we raised the family, then bringing them up, seeing them settling themselves in their life as far as we put it, and now we sit back and look. These are we did not simply have a target. And how did it become successful? Because we were committed to the target. So many hurdles were there. It was not a cakewalk. In spite of that, we were able to do it because that commitment to the ideal was there. And we did go through the process. So now God is teaching us. The same formula is to be applied to the inner contentment also. And in our case, Papa stepped into our life and gave us the assurance that God, who is inner contentment, fullness, is within us. And we are thinking, acting, talking only because of the presence of that contentment personified God. So if we become aware of His presence, we reach the contentment. Through chanting His name, through leading a life in line with this outer life and inner life. We start trying. We did some progress, but not much. So this question has been asked, is prompted, so that we will try now to explore ways and means to achieve this inner contentment. Many of you might have received the day for yesterday on 11th words of Papa. Have you received?
Yes, Swamiji.
What is the title?
Contentment is a continual feast.
Contentment is the continuous feast. Why nobody replied? They were not received?
Received, received.
Received, Swamiji, but I did not understand the feast.
That is the claim, even the title you see, contentment is the continual feast. It is not a feast. Not one served. Think, why did he now put up this question today? Because that is our innate nature, fullness. So now we go, every one of us will sit back and go back to our previous life so far lived. And are we applying the same formula now? I think probably if people don't mistake us, our reliance on outer factor has been the main hurdle for us. When we were drawn to Papa, we got the impression, many of us, most sincerely, honestly, that if we chant Ram Nam, everything will come to us. So we did not bother about anything else. Papa had given a lot of importance for inward journey. Papa had asked us to explore inwardly. Papa has asked us to observe certain vows. And he himself brought it out in Inquest of God. We all took it only, we have not given much importance, unknowingly, unwittingly. So that is why we have achieved something now. With that we are satisfied. But somebody is not satisfied because we know this will also go. So we go back to Papa's teachings. We go back to his life. In Quest of God, we go back again. What did he do? He also did not come from sky, He was born to a parents like all of us. He was brought up in the society like all of us. He was employed like all of us. He had a family like all of us. He had all the problems that we have been facing. What did he do extra? At 37th year, he was prompted rather to realize the contentment within, which is a continual feast. And did he keep quiet? Was he satisfied with attending Satsang? Was he satisfied with merely doing some practices like chanting or bhajans? No. He was exploring different ways. And finally, when he took the leap, and when he reached Tiruvannamalai, first thing he did was to go with it, That too not for a day or 2 or 3. It was for 21 days. What does it mean?
Swamiji, unless a person is not happy, uncontent, then only he will seek for contentment.
Naturally. Naturally.
If you are peaceful, happy with the situation, then we will never seek for contentment.
They need not. That means God has not given them the prompting. Why should we unnecessarily make ourselves miserable? If we are content with whatever He has provided, we don't bother, In his case, he was not fully content. So we are asking ourselves whether we are completely satisfied with this, whether we are not satisfied with this. The spiritual pursuit is given only for those who feel something more than what we have now.
Swamiji, in spite of having everything going well, if I feel discontented, then only I will know that there is something else that I want. Yeah. Not this, but
this is exactly the problem we are facing. We are contented, we are satisfied with whatever God has provided us in terms of our outer life. At times, we get some shock, something like that, and we turn towards this. We hear something and we are satisfied, we are back. This is not meant for that. This discontentment if you remember Papa's quotation, we should feel content in any place he has placed, but discontentment should be there for not having realized his presence. That stage only those who have reached that stage can take up all these things. We cannot force ourselves. We are happy, na?
But the fact remains that we are strongly desire to see him inside, Swamiji. We have a strong desire to see him.
That means we are not fully happy with what we have with us.
No, right.
So now we have to pursue. You are absolutely right. Along with that, we also want something that gives me fullness, which my master have told me. What did the master say? You have to reach a stage where you have got objectless happiness. At the moment, our happiness is definitely dependent upon objects, situations, and persons. If somebody does not love us, we are unhappy. If situations are not very good for our happy life, we are unhappy. If one object is giving us some disturbance, we are unhappy. So we try to this manana should be there.
Swamiji, you mean we are very complacent?
Is it not so? As far as our commitment toward the pursuit is concerned, we are active, we are useful, we are dynamic. Everything is there. We are leading a righteous life. We are definitely content with what God has provided us. Many of us are in the evenings of our life. So there is overall, all are happy. But still, having been
we are very laid back and complacent.
As far as our efforts to make ours fully content, yes, we can say we are complacent. Think about it. Are we paying due attention to that? Why not? Why should we force it? We cannot force this. Papa's life says he was restless in his 37th year. Are we restless? We are not restless. Because luckily he has provided all the basic things for a comfortable life. In between, he has been providing this through various sources. That ultimately these will not help. We have to remember the one who is providing everything. So we try in our own way, whatever is possible. By getting this so more and more engaged in our mental activity, like discontentment, contentment, fullness, insufficiency, absolute happiness, relative disturbances. Try to think about it. Then that those are all the factors that keeps the tempo. Major hurdle, we would say, when the living comforts have been given to us, to that extent, the mind space is not given for him. If we watch our previous life, like 50 years, 60 years back, and now, we are comfortable, So that means what? Still that discomfort has not reached. At times we may feel, I should realize God, I should make a mark. That's all. But it's only for a short time. I am more bothered about adjusting things to make me comfortable at the outer level. If there is any dilution at the outer level, I immediately get sensed, stressed, and try to make it all right. Because my whole attention is to be very frank, to be blunt. My whole attention is to make my life comfortable, outward comfortable. And if anything is needed, I immediately do it. So that means my mind has not been trained to see him who is providing everything. Who is providing everything through outer factors. I am seeing it as outer factors only. I am not seeing him as an outer factor. And I am not worried. Suppose you want everything to be handled immediately, you try to get something from others. You don't bring in the God dimension, do you? Nobody. Honestly. But at the same time, he has not left us. Because the very fact that he makes us to discuss this, to do some practice connected with this, that means somewhere in the corner of our mind, we also want that. Otherwise, why should he prompt us to spend time like this? Or taking up a Ramnam session or a Bhajan session or a, what do you call it? When we hear some bhajan, when we hear some stotras, we naturally appreciate. Though not very deep, Bhagavad Gita chanting. So many things we are doing, Sumangali Prarthana, Navaratri, festivals. All outer, thick. We are not to stop. It should be there.
Swamiji, ரொம்ப பவர்ஃபுல் மெசேஜ். அது ஆனா எப்படி இந்த கம்ஃபர்ட் ஜோன்ல இருந்து டினை பண்ணிட்டு வெளியில வருது?
டினை பண்ணிட்டு வெளியில வரல, அவர்கிட்ட பிரார்த்தனை பண்ணா போறோம். நீ கம்ஃபர்ட் ஜோன் எல்லாம் கொடுத்திருக்காய். In the process, I got diluted in my efforts to remember you. அப்போ அவரை கொண்டு வரணுமே. I have done my best and I have been able to acquire a flat, I have been able to acquire this and that. Sufficiently I have security in my life. Whatever is now possible I have made for my future until I die. All those things, these are all the things which makes us comfortable. அதெல்லாம் பண்ண வச்சது அவராக்கும்னு நான் தெரியணுமே. அப்புறம் கேட்கிறாரு, அவருதான் கொடுத்திருக்காரு. அது வந்தா கண்டென்ட்மெண்ட் வந்தாச்சு. அன்னைக்கு ஒன்னே விட்டுட்டு போக வேண்டாமே. திங்க் பண்ணு.
வெரி வெரி பவர்ஃபுல்.
சுவாமிஜி அங்குஷம் கொடுத்திருக்கேன் எனக்கு.
என்ன கொடுத்திருக்கேன்
இன்னைக்கு.
அங்குஷம். ஜஸ்ட் திங்க் அபவுட் இட். எல்லாம் வந்துட்டு இருக்காரு அவரை மாத்திரம் மறந்துருக்கோம், அது சரியா? அவர் விட்டு போக சொல்லலை. கண்ணாடி கொடுத்திருக்கார், ஷர்ட்டை கொடுத்திருக்கார், இப்ப லேப்டாப்பை கொடுத்திருக்கார். இந்த கோத்தகைகள் இது வரதுக்குள்ள எல்லா விவசாயம் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கார். Through so many of his forms. Yes, relatively first class life, taken care of by everybody, looked after by everybody. இதுல அவரை நான் பாக்குறது ட்ரை பண்ண இல்லையா? அது பண்ணினா என்ன மிஸ் ஆயிருக்கேன்னு சொல்றது அது கூட ஃபில்லப் ஆயிடும். So what is expected of us, the Papa Chulvar, when he was asked, when you know that God is there everywhere, why did you leave the home, wife, child, house, and then went? Then உங்களுக்கு கிடைக்கிற மாதிரி கிடைக்கும். whether you will get only after that. Then immediately he said, no. Then why did you do that? He wanted me to go there and see him in everywhere and to declare that for spirituality is nothing but becoming aware of his presence within. So we normally take it when a scientist brings out the, what do you call it, inventions. We don't have to do that, no, to use it. He has already done it. To use it, I don't have to do the same thing that the scientist did. When the noble person, scientist gave specs, and later on got improved to this level, I don't have to do all these things. All that I have to do is to use it. But with the feeling that so many people have contributed to make my vision more clear to me. That's all. Now what is happening is, I have paid money, I am using it. Somebody will say, why don't you have another type of where you will have this advantage, that advantage. My whole attention is on that. The frame can be in a better way, you know. Even during, when the light is there, the reflection will not come. During the night, you will get this.
Hari Om? No audio? Okay, சரி.
I think, Hari Om. Hari Om, Swamiji's net problem. Maybe please wait. Swamiji may come back.
Right.
Swamiji, please switch on the audio.
Where were we? There was some problem with the internet here. Where were we? Where did we stop?
Swamiji, about appreciating the innovations the scientists have made, we don't have to make that struggle.
Just you have to enjoy whatever has been invented.
Correct. So when we were, when the specs was given, I normally don't go through all these things. So just Papa says, use the specs. Remember the power behind that. Who prompted, who facilitated, who is now on your face. as many as possible or as much as possible. It may not be possible for us to remember throughout because we have not trained our mind. Our habit is only to see outside, outside, outside. We have never tried to recognize the power which actuated our life, which has been providing everything to us. Everywhere we got attached to the physical form, outer form, including a spiritual guru. Though Papa has been telling us, you say Papa, 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 but Papa Mataji is in everybody's heart, God is in everybody's heart, you are in everybody's heart. Have we applied our mind? Instead of iron chain, don't get into the golden chain. No? When somebody asks, like, we want to see you, we want to meet you, he said, what is the use? So even in spiritual matters, it has been outside. Rest of the things are always outside. We never bothered about who has brought it, how it came, how I came. All those things we have never. So now at least, with a short period he has given us, we don't know when the call will come. Before the call comes, we will try now, our level best. Even if we set apart, the other way there's 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the morning, or 10 minutes in the morning. We are not in a position to do it now. To establish a contact with him. Okay, if that is not possible, any object with which he makes us to handle, why not we try? So the question raised at the beginning of this session was, we have understood everything, but still the vehicle is not moving.
Yes, Swami, yes.
We are 100% clear, but vehicle is not moving. How to make the vehicle move? We can only get the answers like this, because it has to be done by ourselves, And why we are not being able to do it? We are satisfied with the present. Only once in a way when there is some disturbance at some level, we get disturbed. Otherwise, by and large, we are comfortable. And only when we get a shock, when we get some kicks, when we get some knocks, then we start thinking about all these things. Otherwise, everything is a pastime engagement. But in our case, the one advantage here is, though these are all the truths, still somewhere in the corner of the mind, he has given us some taste for Ramna, some taste for Satsang, some taste for bhajans. So we will now try to fan, to keep the flame going. Not trying to understand the discontentment, but trying to feel the ultimate contentment which is within us. You are there, why don't you make me aware? You have made me understood that I should pursue that. This will not help me. Again, next birth I will have to take. I will have to go through the whole process. But you are assured that once I get your, when once I feel that you have taken me unto yourself, then no such thing will happen, even if you give me a next birth. You will make me to dwell on you and carry on whatever activities you will. Such prayer. The only thing is we have to remember him. Remember him, remember him, remember him. How to remember him? Though many methods have been given to us, We have to work out our own. Just like for all other things, we worked out our own way, We did not look up to somebody for something. We ourselves plunged into it. Like that, we have to plunge it. Let us rely on Him who is within us, not on anything outside. This is what Papa tells us from his own experience. Rely on him within.
Swamiji, if we follow this way instructions, we will be compulsorily connecting with him.
I couldn't follow.
I mean, this way we will be compulsorily connecting with him. There is no other choice.
He will, correct. Though we may be looking outside, he will pull us to himself. Sure. That has happened in many, many cases. He himself chose. So that means, in Papa's case, he was chosen because of the stressful period he was made to go through. He did not condemn anybody, he did not try to find out the outer causes. Really, he made use of the chance. But in our case, even if there is a short setback, we try to handle it with the feeling that we are handling it. At the same time, we are to learn that particular shock he gave only to make us remember him, and when once we remember him, he will see that we are not affected by that shock.
Exactly, Swami. Correct. Very correct.
Swamiji, அந்த சுவாமிஜி அந்த ரிமெம்பரன்ஸ் நம்மளுக்கு சஸ்டெயின்டா இருக்கணும். அதுதான் ரொம்ப பிரார்த்தனையா இருக்கு, நம்மளோட பிரார்த்தனை. அது
keep on praying and doing. ஒரு 5 minutes 10 minutes the inward journey will definitely help. ആരും ഇല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ ഒറ്റയ്ക്ക് കണ്ണം മൂടിക്കിട്ട്, not a collective sadhana, individual sadhana. You are with me. You have made me intellectually understood. You made me to have 100% faith in the words of our master. So there is no question about it. But why don't you give me the taste of your...
Swamiji, kanna karandata, we are missing the whole link.
Initially, kanna moodittu first we will try to get. Because the moment we open our eyes, the varied things that occupy our mind, varied manifestation. So we don't, whereas when you close your eyes, when you close the door of your house, limited, only your thoughts are there, and the thoughts, you are making the thoughts to pray to him. So that means a certain amount of concentration is always there. But the moment you open, lot of movements are taking place, and you are carried away by one or another. And when Papa has assured us that when once we have established the remembrance inside, then when we open outside, we will be able to know that everything is happening only by His will. Until such time, we may be telling everything, but it is not coming from experience. So the first and foremost thing is, if you all go through the way, any text of Papa, you will find this inward journey, reliance within, not depending upon outer this thing. It has been hammered. So that means first we have to realize him within. Then only we will be able to realize him without. And we don't have to start out, I have to realize without, the very act of the very prayer, the effort we make to become aware of Him, suddenly releases us. We don't have to do anything, because aspects will connect Him to it. The mobile will connect us to Him. The table will connect us to Him. The building will connect us to Him. The bulb will connect us. Like that, it will connect. Everything He has provided. Somewhere. Not that we will tom-tom. We will be functioning as anybody is functioning. But in our heart, it will be there. Whenever we forget, immediately we will be pulled back. We have been observing for the past 3-4 days, the questions are very, very fundamental, very, very, very relevant for the struggle of the sadhaka. So that itself means that He is holding us. Though we have only given 2% of our attention towards Him, 98% are outside, still He is hopeful, whether we are hopeful or not, that one day we will turn towards Him. Anything else?
Swamiji, today's, every day I feel that today's was the most important. But today was really most important. We need to really work on this. Yes. Yes, Swami.
Contentment is the continual feast. Any word of Papa, it's a perennial source of inspiration. Whenever we are off the line, we can put it back. Be active in any field that opens itself to you. These are all his words. Be active in any field that opens itself for you. And do all work in a spirit of blissful service.
One life is not sufficient, Swami. One life is not sufficient to understand Papa's teachings.
Correct. One life is.
But I don't want one more.
Life can be understood only by going to the very root of it. And the root is ever sweet and sweeter. See, simple, very simple, uncomplicated. Life can be understood only by going to the very root of it. And the root is ever sweet, ever eternal. Like that, any word, any word. If we keep it in our mind, it will come back to us. Behold divinity in every aspect. So ultimately it all zeroes to this, we have to remember Him. Remembrance. That is the mantra. Ram Nam is for remembrance. Because everything that has come out, just imagine, including Ram Nam or any mantra, it has come out, as an expression. We are trying to understand the power behind the coming out. So simultaneously we have to do that, Chanting should go also to know the power behind this. That is why he said, I am chanting the name of one who is within me, who is making me to chant. Everything that has come out, that is there before us, it has come out from something, So we have to go back, we have to understand the power behind everything. Even the very language. Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. It is a language, So those who have scaled the heights, they have injected the power to the mantra. They have injected their power. We have not injected their power. We are only repeating the power. They have injected the power of remembrance to that name. So we will also be able to do that only when we inject the power to the name, remembrance to the name. Remembrance to the name. And periodically going through the biographical sketch will help us. Papa has written that wherever he hears any singing, he will lose himself. Because his chanting and our chanting is different. Every time he chants, he is remembering. So that even when he is not chanting, he is remembering. In our case, chanting goes like a automaton, no? Though it is necessary, we have reached some stage because of that. At least the name is not leaving, But now we have come to understand that we have to inject the remembrance aspect. So we used to think whether it is practically possible or not. We will have our usual quota. We will not stop. Because we know it has helped us. But now take 5 minutes or take 10 times of Rana and try to inject this remembrance and see for ourselves what happens. He is behind, he is making me to chant. He is there in the form of life force. He has brought out in the form of language. He has brought out the mantra. And he is providing me an opportunity to chant. We have remembered him. So like that we will devise some method by which we try to bring in this factor, remembrance factor to our chanting. And this remembrance is called contentment. That is why he said contentment is a continual feast. Today is what day? Monday. Tuesday. Wednesday, when we meet, we will try to read that portion again. Ashram, because 15th also happens to be the 31 means 93rd day of anniversary of setting up this ashram. So we will try to remember. If the ashram is not there, will we be? Papa should be there to have the first ashram. No? Only because of the transformation that took place in him. Otherwise, he would have continued as Vittal Rao. And then God made for all of us, for the sake of all of us, he chose Vittal Rao to transform himself into a realized saint. And in order that you and I should get the benefit, God made Mataji to come to Papa's. Because if Mataji was not there, Ananda Ashram would not have come. Papa by himself, he would have lose himself. He was not at all interested. So then he brought Mataji there. And because of that, on 1931, and brick by brick, she built up that ashram, drawing inspiration from Papa, and set everything for all of us. She was also not content because none of us were making use of it. That was the only complaint she had. All the facilities have been given, but still nobody has taken advantage of it. That she always used to say that. When she was crying, when Puja Swamiji asked her, "Why are you crying?" She said, "None of you have made use of this opportunity." Then Swamiji said, "For that we should be crying, You are not crying, so I am crying. So on day after tomorrow, when we say this is the 93rd anniversary, we try to remember. We try to kindle our gratitude. We try to live up to what is expected of us by Mataji.
Swamiji, today was icing on the cake.
Eh?
Today was the icing on the cake.
Okay. So on try to remember. Let us not leave now. And only for day after tomorrow we should remember. Try to remember all these things. It will have its own positive effect in our sadhana. Because the love Mataji had all of us, how she set up this ashram. And when there was no comfort zone at all, absolutely zero comfort zone. And with all that she has given, today it is a 5-star ashram now. Everything is there at your room. The coffee comes. All rooms, all facilities, electric light, geyser. What is not available? We don't have to do anything. All that Mataji wanted is to divert our whole life. She said 6 hours at least you spend for remembering him. Are we doing it? So, day after tomorrow when we say this is ashram's 93rd, do we mean really? Or is it only based on the date, the calendar, or the year? Every day will go, Next year also it will come, the same 15th. But when he makes us to remember, it is for the purpose for which. We will also try to read one article of Puja Swamiji. He delivered probably 25-30 years back. We specifically remember when Swamiji, normally we don't have any such celebrations on ashram's anniversary, but on that particular day we requested Swamiji, give us some message, otherwise it will become lukewarm. We need something to immediately stir the whole thing. And Swamiji, I don't remember, probably in the evening, he gave us a message, very powerful message, that we will try to read it on day after tomorrow. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om